So while what I have said till now sounds amazing, all is not so rosy. There are concerns around AI, ML, especially self-learning algorithms, generative algorithms. One of the biggest concerns or one of the biggest challenges with machine learning is that the data can only improve over time, which means we have to work with a large amount of data for a large amount of time before we can get accurate results. And if we want to guarantee accurate results and predictability, there's a huge cost in infrastructure, human intervention, the training, and the time, which I'm not sure all fintech institutions can actually afford. This is when I talk about time, this is not a matter of months. It could probably be a number of years, and depending on the results that are being generated, this can take really, really long. And this part is where ChatGPT, the next version, is scarier. Where if we are getting in a lot more metrics, it can make a lot more generative AI a lot better. However, in the fintech space, we are dealing with a lot of data, and this data cannot always be given out easily for consumption. So the cost of building machine learning is high. Add to this, all these machine learning models are always trained with humans. It is called human intervention training or human intervention learning. And this can generate a bias. For example, if there are certain trainers who have a racial bias, you have a problem. If there is somebody who has a monetary bias, you have a problem. And this is how the models get trained. Now, add to this the amount of false positives and the false negatives, or just the anomalies which can get created, maybe by humans or by the machines themselves, can just go berserk. Digressing a little bit, there was a case earlier where one person wanted to fool Google Maps. And this person takes about 60 different Android phones, turns on their GPS, puts it onto Google Maps, and walks across a bridge with all these 40 phones. And you look at Google Maps, 15 minutes later, it shows there's congestion over the bridge. Apply this analogy in the fintech space, and I try and create a pattern for somebody's spending to be berserk anomalous. It can actually trigger off a flag in a bank which can probably freeze the assets of a person. Or I can change the money trail, or the money trail gets changed, and it can actually create havoc for an institution. Even today, there are companies which are, when are being acquired, assets are frozen. It causes havoc in the company. Imagine if this was created by a machine learning algorithm. And this is where the concept of data privacy, regulatory, and liability come in. Data privacy is important because I would be personally worried if a bank is actually trying to identify and analyze my spending pattern, which means Big Brother is watching, and not just watching, Big Brother is now analyzing. And I have a problem with that. So the biggest concern of AI and machine learning in the future is going to be, how are we going to ensure that data privacy is maintained, the data of a consumer is not misused? Or if there is a mistake, who is going to be liable for this? If my bank loan is rejected because an algorithm says, I don't trust Gautam, whereas I have all the proof of being a trustworthy person, who is responsible for the concept of trust anymore? What kind of regulation is the government going to put in, or the regulatory bodies going to come in across the world, who are going to ensure that data is not misused, the data is judged well? Or do you also say that this is still going to be in recommendation mode and there is going to be a person behind it who's going to give the final verdict? These are concerns which are real. These are concerns which are already coming up. People have already been trying to bring in ethical AI, regulatory AI, and these are true, and these are real, and these are being regulated as we speak. Just like the wave of AI has taken a sudden big leap, this regulatory better catch up fast, or it's going to raise some serious concerns in the fintech industry.